How do we truly define truth in a world that's just brimming with opinions? I mean, not just our personal beliefs, but like a foundational truth, a cosmic principle. Welcome to the deep dive. We try to plunge into these profound ideas, making complex stuff hopefully clear and, engaging. Today, we're exploring this really extraordinary text called The Search for Truth, Divine Harmony, and the Station of Justice. And this source, it offers a really deep look at a concept often translated as truth or maybe rightness, al-haq. But, well, as we're about to discover, it's actually so much more than just, simple accuracy or what I think is right. So our mission today in this deep dive is to unpack this foundational concept. We want to understand its really pervasive role in the universe and in human affairs. And crucially, distinguish it from related ideas like, say, justice and equality. They sound similar, but they're distinct. We'll explore its manifestations, from the grand design of creation right down to our smallest actions and words. And ultimately, we'll be asking, how can we, in our day-to-day lives, actually align ourselves with this profound cosmic blueprint? Okay, so let's unpack this idea of al-haq. Our source introduces it not just as some philosophical idea, but as the origin of all values. Right? And the basis of all judgments. It's described as a principle that literally upholds the universe itself, defines what true justice is, and acts as the ultimate scale for weighing, everything, actions, words. That's a huge claim, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And what's fascinating right from the start is how the source elevates al-haq way beyond just human subjectivity. The text is really clear. It's not an opinion among opinions. It's not something you debate where, the best talker wins. This isn't rhetoric. Instead, al-haq is presented as an eternal matter, something created with divine decree, an absolute law that's sort of woven into the very fabric of God's creation. The source suggests al-haq is this perfect, precise, divine harmony, a deep intrinsic alignment between, say, creation and its purpose, or a word and its context, or even an action and its timing. It's about an inherent rightness that exists before we even perceive it.
The sheer scope of that is, it's really thought-provoking. The source quotes the Quran from Al-Jathiyah and Al-Hishr saying, God created the heavens and the earth with al-haq.
Okay.
And that's not just, pretty poetry. It implies that nothing in the universe is in vain. No action without wisdom. Just imagine for a second a universe where every single element from the biggest galaxy to the tiniest particle has a precise purpose and a perfect place within this grand, harmonious design. That's the scale of al-haq we're discussing, a universe just completely filled with meaning and intention.
Exactly. And the source really underscores that God alone guides to al-haq. It quotes the Quran again from Yunus, say, is he who guides to al-haq more worthy to be followed?
Yeah.
So seeking it isn't just like an intellectual exercise. It actually elevates the whole act of seeking and understanding al-haq to an act of worship. Contemplating this truth becomes a kind of obedience, and actively following it, well, that's seen as a path to salvation. It really highlights the profound spiritual dimension built into this cosmic principle.
Okay, so this brings us to a really crucial distinction then. We need to talk about how al-haq relates to, but is also, profoundly different from, justice, al-adl, and equality. Because at first glance, you might think they're all basically the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But the source makes a really compelling case for why they're separate.
Precisely. That's a key point. The text clarifies that while justice, al-al, is definitely a great principle, commanded by God, it quotes anal there, meaning basically giving every rightful one their due according to what they deserve. Al-haq is not justice. That's fundamental. Instead, the source says al-haq kind of lends precision and suitability to justice. It makes justice's impact deeper, closer to wisdom. If we, connect this to the bigger picture, both al-haq and justice are aiming for that divine order, placing everything in its proper position, preserving the balance of life.
Yeah.
So yes, they're deeply connected, absolutely, but they're not interchangeable. Al-haq adds this layer of absolute rightness that actually guides justice.
Right. And the source is this brilliant analogy to make it super clear for us. Imagine you're distributing food, okay, among a group of people. Now, if you give everyone the exact same amount of totally equal portions, you've achieved equality. That feels fair, often, doesn't it? Okay, scenario 2. If you distribute it based on, say, the number of people, one plate per person, maybe, regardless of their situation, you've achieved justice. Everyone gets their due, their plate. But here's where al-haq comes in. If you distribute that same food according to need, so you consider maybe someone's sick or weak, or there's a small child, or someone who's been isolated and hasn't eaten, then you've reached al-haq. It's about more than just the amount. It's that deep alignment. So what does this all really mean? Al-haq isn't just about how much. It's about this whole comprehensive alignment of how and to whom and when and why. It's this profound comprehensive alignment, ensuring the act itself is perfectly suited to its context, its purpose, leading to the wisest, most beneficial result. It adds layers of insight, divine wisdom, really, to just simple distribution.
Absolutely. And expanding on that, we can now sort of explore how this principle, al-haq, shows up in different areas of existence, moving from that huge cosmic scale down to, well, our actions and even our words. So in creation itself, the source reminds us of those Quranic verses from An-Naml and As-Sajda, declaring God perfected everything he created and made good everything he created. This paints a picture of a universe where everything is just placed with astonishing precision. There's no excess, no deficiency. Every single element serves a profound, specific purpose, and it's designed perfectly for that purpose. That's really the essence of al-haq in the cosmic order.
Wow, that's a powerful vision. It's not just that things exist, but they exist perfectly as they are, for their role.
Yeah.
So an inherent rightness in the design and function.
Exactly right. And the source gives these really vivid examples. Like, think about mountains. God created them as anchors, right? They look fixed, unmoving, but they perform this vital function preventing the earth from shaking. Or think about water. It's subtle, penetrating, seeps into soil, into bodies. Its effect is seen everywhere, but its form can be elusive. This is al-haq in creation, each thing in its nature consistent with its function. You know, the sea has its limits, fire its properties, light its effects, night its role. Everything God created is in its appropriate place. And it's by this precise ordering, this divine harmony, that the universe actually stands and its order is maintained. It's really a testament to an incredible, intelligent cosmic design.
Okay, so now let's shift from that vast cosmic scale to something more personal. Our actions, human actions. Our source highlights Quranic verses like Arad, everything with him is by measure, and Al-Furqan, about spending that's neither extravagant nor stingy, but moderate. This suggests that even our everyday actions should be guided by the same principle of precise alignment.
Indeed. And the text explains that al-haq and say spending isn't just about the quantity, whether you give a lot or a little. It's more about its precision, its timing, and its outcome. And this is a really thought-provoking point. The source gives this example. To give a poor person food they don't know how to preserve, or medicine they don't understand how to use, or money when it's not truly needed is not from al-haq, even if it appears generous, you see. The intention might be good, absolutely, but the outcome might not actually be beneficial or aligned with that higher wisdom. An action rooted in al-haq has to be appropriate, beneficial, insightful. It achieves its goal without corrupting the purpose. It's about wise, purposeful giving that creates genuine good.
And what about our words? I mean, we talk constantly, but how many of our words truly embody al-haq? The source says al-haq shows up in words when they emerge with truth and justice, achieving their purpose, dispelling falsehood, lighting up the path. It quotes the Quran, Al-Anam, and the word of your Lord has been fulfilled in truth and in justice. So it's not just about seeing true things, is it? It's about the how and the when and the why.
That's the crucial clarification, yes. A word might be impactful, maybe it grabs attention, but it isn't al-haq if it doesn't actually benefit someone or awaken them or correct something. Al-haq in speech means it comes when people need it, not when the self desires it. And it's said to bring guidance, not to seek applause or win an argument. This really challenges us, doesn't it, to reflect on how we communicate. Are our words serving some higher beneficial purpose, or are they maybe just serving our ego or some fleeting desire?
Okay, now let's tackle something really challenging, maybe even as uncomfortable. An idea from the source. Is good intention enough? This one insight really flips conventional wisdom, doesn't it? We often think, oh, well, my heart was in the right place and, that's what matters. But the source has a very different and I think deeper perspective here.
It really does. The source states quite firmly, al-haq is not measured by intention, but by its ultimate outcome, what the text calls al-ma'al. This is a critical distinction. And yeah, maybe counterintuitive for many of us, the text quotes the Qur'an from al-haq, talking about those whose effort is lost in worldly life while they think they are doing good. End quote. And this raises a really important question for all of us to consider, right? How many well-intentioned reformers have, maybe inadvertently, caused destruction? Or how many zealous individuals, despite their passion, have actually ignited strife? How many genuinely generous people have, perhaps unknowingly, corrupted others with their giving? The point here is profound. Intention alone is not sufficient without insight, deliberation, and alignment of the path with the goal, so that it yields a truly praiseworthy outcome. It's about wisdom guiding our goodwill, making sure the path we choose actually leads to the good end we want.
And to really drive this complex idea home outcome, Over just intention, the source gives us this beautiful, really vivid parable from the Quran. Arad, verse 17, the example of water and foam.
Yes, it's such a powerful metaphor. It illustrates that fundamental difference between al-haq and falsehood beautifully. The verse says, God sends water from the sky, and valleys flow according to their measure, and the torrent carries rising foam. Thus, God presents al-haq and falsehood. Ink. And the parable explains it. Al-haq is like that beneficial water. It sinks into the earth, it causes growth, and ultimately, it remains. It's life-giving. Falsehood, though, that's like the foam. It rises up, looks prominent on top of the water, multiplies, froths, makes a big show. But it doesn't hold. It eventually just vanishes as scum, leaves nothing beneficial behind. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, it teaches us that even if al-haq doesn't always seem dominant, on the visible scene, maybe it seems quiet or less flashy, it endures, it consistently bears fruit. Falsehood might look big and noisy for a while, but ultimately it's fleeting. It's bound to disappear. It's really a testament to the enduring power of truth and divine harmony.
Okay, so this brings us to a really important point. Your role in all this. For you listening, the source connects this profound concept right back to our own choices, our agency. It highlights that guidance to al-haq comes from God, but it is not imposed on humanity. Rather, it is offered. This isn't some forced path. It's a choice presented to us. He quotes those Quranic verses like Al-Kahf, say, the truth is from your Lord, so whoever wills, let him believe, and whoever wills, let him disbelieve. And Al-Insan. Indeed, we guided him to the way, either grateful or ungrateful. So we have this inherent freedom, right? And therefore a profound responsibility in how we actually engage with al-haq.
Exactly. And that choice carries significant weight. The source emphasizes that following al-haq is a choice, but one with grave consequences. Why? Because it's based on conclusive evidence that no human can be excused for abandoning once it has been made clear to them. It's not presented as some vague idea. It's a foundational truth that once you recognize it, kind of demands a thoughtful response. And this raises that important question for each of us, doesn't it? Given its foundational nature, given the evidence presented in creation, in conduct, in communication, how do we actively seek and apply al-haq in our daily lives? How do we make sure our choices align with this divine harmony?
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, let's just reinforce those core distinctions and the personal implication of al-haq. We've seen it's so much more than just simple truth or even conventional justice. It's this fundamental principle of divine harmony, the rightness underpinning all creation, guiding our actions, shaping our words. Remember that food analogy. It really helps cement the difference between just equality, practical justice, and that profound, comprehensive alignment that is al-haq. It's really a call to look beyond just superficial fairness to a deeper, more profound kind of wisdom.
Right. And the really profound conclusion from the source is that seeking al-haq is truly seeking God because he is the manifest truth. The text teaches that those who know al-haq, they truly know the path. And conversely, those who neglect it are lost, even if they have tons of knowledge. It's not about the quantity of information, but the quality of understanding and, crucially, application. Remember, al-haq isn't what glitters on the surface, It's what truly conforms to God's laws and purpose. It's not what simply pleases people, but what establishes God's essential balance. And it's not an adversary to justice, it's indispensable companion. And it's not against equality, but it's a wisdom and a balance above it. When justice aligns perfectly with al-haq, that's when we reach complete wisdom. Without that alignment, justice can become just. Mere allocations, maybe even arbitrary, and good intentions, they remain unfruitful.
So the source leaves us with this really powerful urge. Make al-haq your scale, and you will find it a light before you on the day of judgment. Do not make your scale what you desire or what pleases people, for al-haq is a path, a goal, and a stance. So as you go about your week, maybe think about the choices you make, the words you speak, the intentions behind your actions. How can you align them not just with what feels right or equal to you, but with this comprehensive, harmonious blueprint of al-haq? What small shift, maybe in your perspective or your approach, could make a profound, lasting difference in achieving those truly divinely aligned outcomes? What does it really mean for you to let al-haq be your guide?